Welcome to episode 43 of the Hike or Die Outdoor Adventure Podcast. I'm joined by Craig.
Hey, mate.
As usual, we are sitting in the middle of Rainforest at this point in time, and the moon is just rising behind us, and it's pretty cool, isn't it, Craig?
Fantastic.
Hey, Craig, I'm just wondering if you like elephants.
You bet, man, yeah.
And that's good, because there's one in the room, and we're going to have to address that after the intro. Today, in this episode, we walk on Gubbi Gubbi land. So we'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of this land from which we record our podcast. We also pay our respects to their elders past and present. We'd like to extend that respect to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island listeners. It's been a while since I've had to say any of that, Craig. Mate,
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, good. Good, man. It's fantastic to be back doing it again.
It's a bit crazy, isn't it? Just for context, as I was saying, we are sitting in a rainforest, and what time did we hit the trail? 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So we both drove up here, hit the trail at 8 p.m, got to this nice spot and set up our tents, got everything ready for bed, and then Craig set up the audio gear, and here we are.
Magic.
Yeah, it's a bit surreal to be back, actually. I googled some words. You want to listen to some words I googled?
Words?
Yeah, words. I googled some words. Some synonyms, I believe.
Oh.
All to do with like the return,
Oh.
the comeback, the reboot, resurgence,
Right.
sequel,
Okay.
revival,
Yeah.
the rebound. We could be someone's rebound. The resurrection, I like that one.
Okay, yeah.
Or the rebirth, if you want to get a little bit hippie on the subject. Nobody said it better than LL Cool J said it in his hit 1990 song, Mama Said Knock You Out. He said, "Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years."
Oh, yes.
Poor grammar, wise words. I'll give him that. And it resonates with me.
Yeah.
Those special words of his. This is the elephant I'm talking about.
Right.
Is we've
Time off.
not been around.
Yeah.
And in about, what's the date? In about 3 or 4 weeks' time, well, I guess by the time this comes out, it'll be about 3 weeks, and it would have been exactly a year, because I checked.
Oh, has it been?
Yeah, in about 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, it's a year
No.
since we released.
Last one?
Yep. It was Linda as the guest.
Oh, wow. I mean, I knew it was long. I thought it was 6 months, but
Yeah,
there you
no,
go.
It's just about to clock up a year. So,
Yeah, right.
yeah. So, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but yeah, I've just been having a tough time with personal life, and so I wasn't able to manage, anything that required this much commitment and creativity. Like, creativity was something that kind of dissolved when I was in that mode of just, getting things done and concentrating on other things. So, unfortunately, it was one of the things that had to be paused. And it's only been recently that, we were discussing doing it a little while back. And I can hear a 4-wheel drive way off in the distance.
Yeah.
Anyway, we discussed it a while back, and then that fell through. So yeah, we're busy again. I'm just rambling at the moment. It's okay. Anyway, we got there, and I just said to Craig, I've had this weekend free, so let me know what you're up to. I'm keen to get back into it.
Mate, it's good that we've had a break, I've got to say. It was a nice sort of, you fall back in love with it all over again.
Yeah, you kind of miss it. And
Yeah.
I think if you miss something, well, it's not always a good thing, but if you crave it, I think, and want it back for the right reasons, which I certainly do. Like, I'm not doing this out of any obligation to anyone or anything. Purely just, it's something that I want to do. But on that note, though, we've had so many people reach out to us over the last 12 months from all over the world, which is just, it's just always so amazing. And to any of those people who did, like, some people commented on the YouTube channel, like, hey guys, when are you going to do another episode? I love the show. And a couple of people have, DM'd us in Instagram. A couple of our friends of the podcast have been checking up on us, like Geordie and our mate Robin is checking in to see if everything's okay. And then just people out of the blue that I don't know. One lady in particular, this is a funny one, Craig. She sent me an email, and her name's Charlotte. She's from Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah.
And she wrote me an email with the title, "Where the hell did you guys go?"
Is that right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
That made me laugh. I actually started to reply to her today, and my intention was to reply today. By the way, that's it's so bad. She wrote that 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And I apologise. I just was not in. I flagged that email, and I just kept meaning to go back to it. And today I thought, I'll email before I go on this hike and just let her know that there's another episode coming. And then the email's half written, and then we're here, and I kind of got distracted. But I think that might be okay, because I'm apologising right now live.
It's as it happens.
Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, so she was checking in on us, which was awesome. She said she's listened to the podcast, and obviously wanted to know if we were still kicking along, and well, we are now. One of the funny things though that she picked up on was a pronunciation. I can't even pronounce pronunciation issue.
Perfect.
Which is common for me, and I do enjoy it, because if we're not here to learn, Craig, then what are we here for? In a past podcast, I can't remember which one or why, but I mentioned Arkansas, but I said, I read it like it reads, and it's Arkansas. Like, that's exactly how it's spelt.
Right.
Especially because there's already a place in the States called Kansas. I'm like, well, if you add AR to Kansas, it's Arkansas. Like, that's my logic. Right. So anyway, she's written and said, I can totally understand why, but in that podcast you said Arkansas, but it's Arkansas. And then immediately I read her email. It clicked that I was listening to a Chris Stapleton song literally like a week before that, and I thought, that's so weird. The song's called Arkansas, but he keeps singing about Arkansas.
Doesn't surprise me, mate. That's good.
Oh, that's really weird. But now I understand why. So Arkansas, whatever I said on that podcast, I wasn't talking about that place that doesn't exist called Arkansas.
Mate, that's a long way from home for us. So that's,
yeah, it is. It is. I mean,
you can be forgiven for that, I reckon.
I appreciate that, and I certainly don't think that she was having a stab at me. She was very polite about it, and I learned something and all the other Australian listeners, or anyone else around the world, don't make that mistake when you're reading it on paper.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to wrap up that whole section by saying, our intention is to get back into it. That's definitely my intention. I have the capacity for it now. I have the want to do it and the love to do it, and every one of the messages that I received certainly made me think that it was bigger than just, you and I sitting here chatting. It was, like Charlotte actually said in her email, that listening to us specifically on these ones where we're in the outdoors.
All right.
She said they just really inspire her to want to get outdoors and do more hiking. So that's kind of another reason why I thought it would be really cool to jump back in to the podcast and actually
be out here.
Like, So there you go, Charlotte. My apologies for not writing back for 4 months. Is slightly less. No, my apologies, not less. Hopefully you don't think less of me because we've gone and done this podcast. Now, on a bit of a serious note, Ross McGibbon, the legendary Ross, the star of episode 29, the snake guru.
Yeah, what's happened?
He's been bitten by a snake. Bitten by a mulga snake, which is also known as a king brown.
Really?
And he's currently in hospital recovering. Yeah, it bit him on the little finger.
Damn.
And it just whipped back and got him, I think. I'm 99% sure that he might have been photographing it at the time. And he said he posted a video of him in hospital. It must have been like 1 or 2 days back, and he said, he looks really well, he's doing well, he's talking well, everything's fine. And in typical Ross fashion, if you've ever listened to that podcast, he's just a super positive guy with a love of these creatures, and he was just talking about all the positives of it. Well, it's so great. Like, we did a really good bandage and we immobilized the wound, and he got in the car and his friend had to drive him to the hospital, and the hospital staff were really great, and he's showing off the bandage in the video saying, oh, look how well they've done this bandage up the arm. So he's in good spirits, and I'm sure he's got a lot of friends around to support him.
Oh, that's a bit scary to hear, man.
Yeah, but I did want to mention it because we obviously send our love and our best wishes to him. He's a fantastic human, and he's a fantastic advocate for respecting and understanding and caring for snakes.
Geez, no, I didn't realise. That's terrible. I hope he's okay.
No, he seems really good. When you... And I'm not suggesting that... Like, if you haven't heard that podcast, I suggest you do go back and listen, because he is a wealth of knowledge and a super positive, just really effervescent sort of personality. He was great to talk to. He doesn't... he used to be a snake catcher, so he's an expert in snake handling, and then moved into reptile and snake photography. Yeah. They sort of went hand in hand. So if you're not familiar with his backstory, that's basically it.
So good at what he does.
Oh yeah, he is absolutely fantastic. And it's just one of those things. Like, it's probably inevitable that at some point it was going to happen. Unfortunately, it did. But as I said, he's super well. Look, if you are on his Instagram, if you follow him on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, you should jump on and send him a message, and yeah, I think he'd love that because I think he's still in hospital at the moment. Yeah, so best wishes, Ross. We love you, mate, and look after yourself, buddy. If you're still in hospital when this episode comes out, you got something to listen to.
Yeah, yeah.
Something, there's probably better things to listen to, but hey, this is free, mate.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be out by then. It'll be good.
This actually leads me to some people would say, "Oh, that's a coincidence," and other people might say, "Wow, Tom planned that really well." But this segues perfectly into the next topic. You probably know what the answer is, but what do you think we need more of in Australia? If you had to pick what we needed more of.
Segue from brown snakes.
Yeah, we need more venomous snakes is the answer. That's what we need. I mean, it's just, what's the point of hiking if there's not more venomous snakes?
That's right.
So thankfully, goodness me, thank you so much. They've found another they've discovered another venomous snake in Australia, which is just great news. Everybody is excited over here in Australia.
Truly.
We had a national public holiday for it. Everyone celebrated, and
great news.
It was a huge day for us over here. So come on over and see what is called the desert whip snake.
Oh.
It's not to be confused with the yellow-faced whip snake, which is on the east coast.
Yep.
Or the reticulated whip snake, which is in Western Australia.
How did I see about that? Was that from Ross's post, or?
I don't believe so.
Someone took a good photo of it, and it was on.
Yeah.
It was on some media recently.
Yeah, it popped up in my media feed, and I thought,
I might have seen
that's like the best news I've ever heard. So I need to just,
because I've had one of those whip snakes in the backyard in the last 12 months.
Yeah, so you've had the, what did I call it? Yellow-faced whip snake.
Yeah.
Sadly, you didn't have the desert whip snake because
No.
it's not in your area. But if you want to go on a trip, to Central Australia, you'll be able to see one.
Right.
And this guy that they interviewed said that in 1970 there were only 600 identified reptiles, like inclusive of snakes.
Right.
And in Australia now we have over 1,100.
Yeah.
So it just shows like that just more people with better technology and are just studying it.
They're finding more. You don't reckon that more are just
they're just like
evolving.
mutating. Yeah, look, it wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, it's a great day for all.
Jeez.
It was actually a beautiful snake, I gotta say. It was a very pretty, very pretty snake. It reminded me a little bit of. I was driving my 4-wheel drive out up near the Glasshouse Mountains, and a snake went across the track and into the bushes, and it was bright blue, like fluorescent blue and green and yellow, and I just thought it looked like someone had this exotic snake that they smuggled in from South America, and when I googled it, it was just a derivative of the green tree snake, I believe.
Yeah, you showed me some.
Yeah, it was on. I mentioned it. There's a picture on show notes years ago when I saw it.
But it's such a common.
It just blew my mind.
Like it's a common named snake. It's
exactly. And I mean, it comes in so many different colours, and that's the thing that through study now people are discovering just how many misidentified snakes are actually brown snakes.
Right.
Because there's olive ones and there's dark green ones, and you go, that's a green tree snake.
Yeah.
Hey, isn't that cute? And and then you've realised later that no, it's one of our most deadly. So I thought you'd like that good news, just because we're sitting out here as well, and we can hear little things moving around in the forest.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what else attacks people? I don't want to laugh about this, but I don't know. Otters attack people.
Really?
And these 3 ladies were swimming in this river. This was in the States. And did you hear about this?
No.
Oh, they got mauled.
By one otter or a few?
No, a couple of otters. Yeah.
Right.
And I don't know. The otters took a disliking to they were on like inner tube kind of things, like that sort of things, like inflatable stuff. They were floating down the river,
right,
just having a merry old time. And these otters have just said, "Not on my watch, not on my watch." And within seconds they've like pierced the inner tubes and stuff. So then they're in the middle of the river where they can't touch, trying to concentrate on swimming back to shore. And these things, I mean, have you ever seen one? I saw one at the zoo.
Yeah.
They're super active.
Yeah.
And they're like some between like a dog and a ferret that's hypo and has massive, massive teeth.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
And they crack open, like they're ones that crack open crustaceans and stuff with their mouth. So you should see, and that's why I kind of didn't want to laugh about it, because it sounds funny, but there's full massive bite marks on this lady's face, and like she's just been torn. Oh yeah, because I mean, I don't know, like if the rest of the body was kind of underwater, I guess it bit him everywhere. Like they got bitten everywhere, legs, butt, like arms, face, just all of them. But yeah, she got mauled. Oh, just man, you should see the photos. They're out of control. It looks like she's been attacked by a pit bull.
Out of character for an otter, or is this just what they sometimes do? Oh, yeah.
I didn't kind of get that much. I mean, the general in the article. I mean, they're generally saying, like otters can get
obviously
like unhappy.
Yeah, you can tell.
And they've just gone in a frenzy.
Yeah.
And oh man, like I feel sorry for them in that, I mean, nobody wants to get attacked by a wild animal. But essentially, that's what it was. There's not really much you can say about it. It's no different to the snake that bit Ross. There's a snake in the wild. He was, getting too close, it bit him. Yeah. He'd be the first one to say that. These ladies were minding their own business, from all accounts, which is, and you're allowed to float down a stream on your inner tube, like no harm done. But sometimes it's just the wrong place, wrong time. I mean, we've had snake encounters. We had that scorpion not far from here that time, crawling up my leg. Not to the level of that.
No.
But on any given day, we could walk through. So I'll get to it later. But we did Craig and I did a canoe trip with 5 other friends 2 weekends ago, and out the back of one of the campsites there was fresh pig, like wild boar digs, and it was real fresh, like they would have done it that morning that we arrived to that campsite. And then that's all it takes as well. It's like they're scared of people, but if you just had one cornered, the wrong time, wrong place sort of scenario, and then you try to run and you trip over or whatever, like who knows, like it could get pretty bad. But yeah, I just
sounds
thought
really bad.
Oh yeah, I've just seen videos of them, like even play fighting. I think, they're vicious little things, and they're so agile and so quick. And obviously, the water is just where they're best at it. So
we don't have them over here, right?
We don't, not unless you fall into the zoo enclosure, in which case that's 100% your fault.
I'll tell you about that time I got bit on the finger by by an African rat. It's called an agouti.
Oh, that sounds bad. What the heck? Where were you? Well, no, obviously you didn't tell
Elmer
me.
Park Zoo.
Oh, so you got bitten by a foreign exotic animal
Yeah.
at a zoo. That explains a lot of your health issues. I can't believe you've never mentioned this before.
I was, primary school age.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that was what stunted your growth.
That's why I'm so short.
So what was it? Agouti.
Agouti
Agouti.
is what I call it. I don't know what it's really called. But
And what did you call it?
African rat.
Oh, that
Like a
sounds
water rat or something.
Oh, that sounds like the worst.
I know.
The worst thing to get bitten by.
Don't do it. They had to
gosh.
give me a needle and take my fingernail off
Oh, really?
when I was that age. Yeah, they had to remove my fingernail because it
Why?
was.
Did it bite through your fingernail?
Well, my fingernail was just hanging off there.
Oh, my gosh.
Not much left of it.
Oh, my gosh. Have you got a fingernail, though?
Yeah, it grew
That's
back.
not a fake. It grew back.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
It was just hanging there.
Oh, my gosh. And
I don't know. I'd have to say.
so you stuck your fingers in the cage.
Yeah, where it says do not do not touch the cage.
I'm not touching the cage. I'm
At
putting
the same
my fingers
time, they're
through
saying,
the cage.
feed them with these nuts and stuff, and then but don't put your fingers on the cage.
I've never heard of an African rat, but it doesn't sound like something I want to.
Anyway,
Something like a lemur or something is more. I don't know. It's not as. Oh, I don't want to come down on the African rat like it's some filthy animal.
like you said, it's just doing its thing.
But
Right?
it's some
Just
idiot wants to
nibbling on
stick a
nuts and-
finger in there. That's pretty yummy.
Wasn't my best day.
Oh, wow. I did not know that story. And now the world knows. Oh, so it's not just leeches that are attracted to you. Did you find any repellent?
Yeah, that wasn't a joke. I was like, no, I didn't bring the repellent tonight.
For a guy that... So you do have it or you don't have it?
No, I didn't bring any. I said that on the text.
Okay, it wasn't a joke.
But luckily, I think we're off the ground here.
Because like Craig has an aversion to leeches. I'm sure any listener, any faithful listener knows about his aversion to leeches and how much they love him, really. But yeah, he was texting me saying, yeah, bring the leech repellent. And I'm going, ha, that's pretty funny. And then I said, are you joking? He said, no. I said, Craig, that's like a person with a peanut allergy not carrying an EpiPen. Why are you existing without carrying leech repellent?
Do you expect me to have some like vessel around my neck at all times?
Or like an emergency like little vial that you crack open.
Yeah.
Well, no, I didn't think that, to be honest. No, I just thought perhaps that you've had all day long to pack.
No, I was at work and I had to leave straight from work.
So you don't own any
It wasn't in
repellent?
the car. It was left it at home.
Oh, so you were already on the road when you texted me?
Yeah, I wasn't going home. I was at the office.
Oh, you went from...
And I said, can you pack some? Because I wasn't going home.
Ah, great.
Straight here.
Well, I've got some, but it's back in the car.
This is how the trouble starts.
So if you wake up with another one hanging out of your eye, I have got salt in my backpack. We can just deal with it.
Yeah.
I'll flick salt at it and voodoo magic.
Jeez. I'm going to be looking carefully around here.
You will now, because I said it. Oh yeah, so the canoe trip. Well, hey, maybe we should go back in time before that. Just because we haven't been doing the podcast doesn't mean we haven't been getting out. I guess there was a period where I didn't get out for quite a long time, but then...
I was going to say that before.
Yeah, I was able to get some mini expeditions out, and I did a really good solo trip. I told you about that. Oh, I posted a picture on Instagram one or two pictures that I took
Oh, that was
on that day.
down the coast, right?
At Leamington.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just decided on a whim, like it's a Tuesday or Wednesday night, to book some accommodation down there and just go down and do a 21 kilometre loop. And it was the best thing ever. I sat out on the edge of this cliff, drinking my cooked coffee. It was more cooked coffee than cowboy coffee in that instance.
Right.
Yeah. And I just loved it. It was the best thing. It was really...
I've grown really fond of that coffee, mate. I took a while to warm to it because it just didn't... I didn't realise how good it was. I kind of doubted it, and then on the canoe trip, mate, you were pulling out the good coffees the whole way through.
I was just doing that.
Excellent.
Cowboy Kent Rollins coffee every morning.
Yep, it's the way to do it.
Banging it out. That's the best. It's the absolute best.
It was strong enough too, like it was really good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's
So
good
good.
stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of people were converted on that trip.
Yep.
I think they were a bit sceptical about the grinds. For those of you who haven't listened to earlier episodes about us talking about coffee, which seems to be like a pretty...
That.
It does, doesn't it? I mean, that's what Robin said. He was re-listening to an episode, and that saddens me. Can I just say that it saddens me that we haven't been putting out content and people have gone back to listen to old episodes. Oh, but in some ways that's kind of nice, right? It can be listened to again. That's slightly comforting. But anyway, he said he was listening to us rambling about coffee and having a good laugh.
Yeah.
Well, here we are again.
Yeah. Well,
Deja vu.
we haven't been making podcasts, but we have been drinking coffee.
We have been making coffee.
We've been having quite a few coffees, and
yeah, that was good stuff though. Nothing better.
And as Tom was saying, it's just throwing the ground straight into the
throwing
water.
grounds.
Well, into the water when it's cool, and then heating it up.
And then heating it up.
Special technique which you've perfected, my friend.
Yeah, so where people get sceptical is you've got this pot of boiling water with coffee grounds in it, and I remember the first time I tried it, man, I thought this is not going to work. But you pour cold water over the top, and the cold water just grabs all the grounds, takes them straight to the bottom of the pot, and you just pour off coffee, and it works every single time. It's crazy. Science, baby.
You just said it then, and I remembered briefly how you said that with tea, when you're making tea, and you've got tea leaves, the bushies just get the billy and swing it around.
Yeah, you swing it as fast as you can, like in a big...
Like a windmill, sort of.
Yeah, a big windmill. Like,
and
the centrifugal force pushes
that is another technique for getting everything to the bottom.
It might work. It might work. Because a tea leaf it's definitely not heavier than a ground. Like coffee grounds don't seem to float as much as tea leaves do.
So someone has to do that experiment with coffee, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we will.
Well, I guess we could do it, and then if it didn't work, then you just pour cold water over the top, and you're not wasting a whole pot of coffee.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe the cowboys never thought of that. Maybe that never jumped the continents. More to ponder, more to learn about coffee.
But anyway, we have been doing things and just enjoying them for what they are. And
we've been drinking a lot of coffee too.
Did we say
mention that? Because we haven't stopped drinking coffee.
No.
Yeah, but we did a few hikes too.
We did a few hikes and drink a lot of coffee.
That canoe trip.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, talk about a reset.
Yeah.
We spent 4 days in the most pristine environment. Travelling by canoe during the day, and then camping on the riverbanks each evening. It was just epic. It was just so good.
Yeah.
It was a great trip. A good bunch of people, and we saw some cool stuff. And got so many of the people from that trip have been messaging me back saying, "Oh wow, that was such a great reset and like recalibration." Just to because a lot of the time we were out of phone service at range as well, which is kind of great because if the phone wasn't working, there's no point checking it, which is even better.
Josh and Phil were catching fish, and
they got a couple of fish.
there was some guitar and banjo.
There was guitar and banjo.
There was coffee.
Nobody does canoe trips without banjos.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was coffee too. We did have some coffee. I feel like we did something. We went on a hike somewhere, didn't we? And I just can't remember. Or did we go for a drive? I can't remember. We did something, didn't we?
Yeah, well, I mean, I hurt my back when I went on that hike with you.
Oh, that's right.
Back at the start of the year.
Yes, I forgot.
And then I had 6 weeks of agony, and
I forgot about that.
Yeah, feeling good now, but
So yeah, we did that little hike with the kids down to the stream, and the icy boys got in again.
That's right. Yeah, in the cold water.
Yeah, that was cold that day. We're not far from there either, coincidentally.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good to be out here, mate.
Oh, it's just magic. Well, that's all of my notes done and dusted, Craig. So I literally don't have anything more.
Really?
And we've had the record for the longest break between podcast episodes. And we could, just break new records and do the shortest podcast we've ever done in podcast history.
Oh, this will be the shortest one. Short and sweet.
Yeah, just let us kind of ease back into it. We'll, I'd like to wrap it up. I'd like to say thanks to everyone who's kept on supporting us through the last 12 months, and we certainly are committed to jumping back in. We said that earlier, so I won't go ahead and repeat myself too much, but we're looking forward to it. We've got some great stuff to share. We've already had a few preliminary conversations with potential guests, but the general consensus seems to be that everyone really enjoys these podcasts that we do out in the wild, just purely for that ambience. And so I wouldn't mind doing a few more of these, Craig, if you're up for it.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for hanging in there, and get ready for the resurgence.
The resurgence, the rebirth.
The rebirth. It'll be good to start doing these again, mate.
Yep, the first of many. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've been a wonderful audience tonight. We are going to hang out for a bit, probably chat, probably say things that we don't want captured on audio, and then have a great night sleeping out in this rainforest. Look forward to bringing you another episode in the near future. I don't know what else to say. Take care. I'll do some practice on how to do podcasts and how to close podcasts again.
We'll get better.
We'll get better. It's our first one. All right. Love you guys. Thanks so much. Catch you in the next one.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this podcast on iTunes, we'd really appreciate your ratings and comments if you can spare the time. If you'd like to know more about Hike or Die TV and keep track of our adventures around Australia, make sure you drop by hikeordie.com. That's where you'll find all the information you'll need to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram or Pinterest. As always, we appreciate your support. Thanks for listening.